Hey everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and today we're going to talk about Donald Trump ordering the attack on Syria. Okay, here's what we know so far. Last night at 8:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4:40 Syrian time, Donald Trump ordered targeted attacks in Syria, specifically at a base believed to be the staging area for the chemical weapons attacks by the Assad regime on Tuesday. 2 U.S. naval vessels fired a total of 59 cruise missiles, reportedly killing 4 Syrian soldiers and completely destroying the base. Russian soldiers had been stationed at the base but were given warning that this was going to happen. The Trump administration says that they did not get Russian permission for this, and that they did not go through Moscow to give the warning to the Russian soldiers at the base. Beyond that, what we have is a lot of speculation. For instance, it's been reported that Trump talked to our allies, but which allies were not mentioned. Let's start with the elephant in the room. President Obama left this mess for Trump. Absolutely, without question, his handling of Syria brought us to where we are right now. Obama drew a red line saying that if the Syrians used chemical weapons, there would be serious repercussions. Assad called his bluff. Nothing happened when he used them before. And then the Russians jumped in to save the day, making us look like a bunch of assholes. Yeah, Obama fucked it all up. But Trump owns it now. He asked for this mess. He said, please give me this job. This is part of the job. Sometimes you just have to clean up shit. It's absolutely valid to discuss Obama's part in how we got into this mess. But the really important thing right now is figuring out how we clean it up. We just attacked a sovereign nation we were not at war with. Sure, we did it because of the chemical weapon attack, but that doesn't erase what we just did. Whether or not I think Bashar Assad needs to be removed from power is irrelevant right now. The consequences of trying to remove him from power are much more important. Assad's not just some crazy dictator killing his own people. He's a crazy dictator killing his own people with the backing of the Russians and the Iranians. We're not talking about the Russians and Iranians just sending weapons or money. There were Russians at that base yesterday. The Russian military is backing Assad. Do you think Vladimir Putin has it in him to admit defeat? There is no way he's going to let Assad fall. The absolute best case scenario here really sucks. Best case scenario? The world gives Donald Trump a pass for firing weapons on a sovereign nation. Nobody calls it an act of war, and we suffer no real consequences on our side. Meanwhile, Bashar Assad goes back to killing his own people with conventional weapons only, backed by his Russian and Iranian friends. That's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is World War III. Now, if you think that's hyperbolic, I want you to consider what's going on. It's not a stretch to consider the possibility that Bashar Assad will retaliate directly against us, knowing that he has the Russians in his pocket. Do I think the Russian military could take us? No. I think their Chinese friends could give us a run for our money, especially if we were also fighting the Iranians at the same time. Now, I don't think this is the most likely scenario, but it is something to consider if you're sitting around cheering what Donald Trump just did because you don't like Assad or you think the chemical weapon strike needed to be answered. I am not a pacifist. I understand that there are times you have to go to war. I'm just not convinced, based on what I've seen so far, that this was one of those times. I don't even have a problem with unilateral action in all cases. Sometimes, yes, we just need to retaliate if somebody attacks us, whether or not the world gives a shit or not. Thing is, we weren't attacked here. Yeah, what happened over there with the chemical weapons attack is horrible. It's obscene what those people had to go through. We were taking action based on a moral stance. We're morally saying it's okay to kill people if you drop a bomb on them, but don't drop a bomb with sarin gas. I understand the thinking behind that, but we have to stop and ask ourselves, is this really worth risking open war? That's the possible consequence of firing cruise missiles at a crazy motherfucker inside his own nation when they haven't attacked us directly. I don't have a whole lot more to say on the subject at the moment. I just checked the news, and there have been updates since I started recording this. Iran and Russia have both come out and condemned the act. Turkey and the UK have both come out in support, and there have been reports of civilian casualties in the Syrian town of Homs. I could sit around and speculate all day about the possible outcomes of this. I really think we're going to be closer to the best case scenario, to Assad going back to just killing people with regular weapons. I think he'll get a lot more aggressive about it. I think the Russians are going to get a lot more involved, and I think the Syrians are the ones who are going to pay. I think the world needed to respond to this because we have decided as a species that using chemical weapons is bad. We let Assad get away with it the first few times. Unfortunately, it's not going to stop him altogether. There's too much pride at stake here. And not just for him, but for Vladimir Putin. But until we get more information, I think that's where I'm going to leave it. The world just got a lot more interesting, and not necessarily in a good way. That's going to wrap up this one. Thank you for watching. I'm the Ranting Monkey, and I will see you next time. If you haven't been joining us for the live streams, here's a little bit of what you were missing. This is our live reaction to Trump bombing Syria last night.
Right.
And then this other woman was like, oh my God, you can't use clap emojis. What is wrong with you?
Wow. Okay. I don't use emojis at all because I don't think they're useful. They take up space and don't say anything, but that's just me.
I'm going to
I
start.
love emojis.
I guess you better. Yeah, you can be a racist.
They and
too.
I use emojis all the time.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, whoa. What is that supposed to mean? Yeah,
You're girls.
You're such girls.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit, what?
News headline just came across. U.S.
Uh-oh.
launches missiles at Syria after chemical attack.
What?
we did what now?
The United States launched dozens of cruise missiles Thursday night at Syrian airfields in response to what it believes was the Syrian government's use of banned chemical weapons blamed for having killed at least 100 people on Tuesday. U.S. military
where are you
officials.
seeing this?
This is on, I think it was, it says U.S. News. I think it was on MSNBC, or NBC is the app that it popped up on for me.
Okay. Because CNN says nothing, BBC's saying nothing. Okay, MSNBC is saying.
NBC News reported Thursday that Defense Secretary James Mattis briefed President Donald Trump, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is coming out of NBC.
NBC, okay, because MSNBC doesn't say it.
Is this like just now?
This just came across.
Does AT have anything
We
yet?
fired at least 50 Tomahawk missiles.
Holy
Nice.
shit! You're right. NBC got the scoop. Holy cow!
You heard it here first, folks.
What?
I can't see chat, so
Yeah, this just happened because CNN doesn't have it, BBC doesn't have it, so unless NBC's making it up,
yeah,
dozens of cruise missiles.
Wow.
Holy
No.
cow!
Why would we do that?
Because
Maybe they decided to go with Hillary's advice.
okay. First important question. I'm hoping we talked to Russia before doing this.
I hope so.
I hope we talked to Russia before doing this because pragmatically speaking, if they did this cowboy style, this is okay. I'm gonna hold off until I know more. But holy shit!
Wow. I just hope there were no Russian planes parked on that fucking tarmac.
Oh Jesus!
Okay.
Well then, this is so fucking bizarre.
CNN got scooped by NBC, if this is so, because they still have Hillary saying they should do that very thing on their headline right now. And BBC says nothing about it unless something's changed the last minute.
I really hope NBC just done the fucked up.
That would be funny. If they jumped the gun and like posted some pre-canned story or something.
I really hope that's what happened. Because
if they didn't talk to Russia, I sure as hell hope that's what happened.
Because
Well, according to the article, there's been no response from Russia yet.
Because
so.
most people, including me, part of the reason why we voted for Trump was because like Hillary wanted that thing to happen and everybody was like, no.
Well, Hillary also wasn't willing to talk to Russia. Whereas Trump, depending on what conspiracy theory you believe, was willing to. The problem is that okay, I don't get it. It's like I say, either NBC has the biggest scoop on the planet right now, or
Chat's saying that Fox has it too.
Okay, because wow, God, CNN looks like a looks like a bitch right now. Holy
him discredited. I can't talk to him because I